Hi there. Kristen here. So today I want to talk a little bit about gaining inspiration from nature to assist us with our mindfulness and grounding and kind of meditative practices. So one that I think is really potent for me is the visualization of trees. I think trees are inspiring to many of us. And for a lot of us, especially those of us who live in cities, sometimes they can be the most, the only real strong nature ambassador that's in our space. If we're living with a lot of concrete and cement, a lot of times trees can be one of the only big natural beings in our space. And so I know I have always found their presence to be really reassuring and really comforting. So when we're doing grounding meditations, it can be really potent to mimic trees and imagine our lower half. So pretty much from like where our hip flexors kind of flex and sit, from that kind of point that encompasses some of our like solar plexus area, our root area, right? Imagine that as our roots extending down into the ground. You can do this at any time. Sometimes when I'm sitting at my desk, I'll imagine that that lower being where my hip flexors are flexed, so I'm sitting, right, are roots extending all the way out and around me. I'll imagine them really big and luscious and growing out and big and then deep into the earth. This visualization can help me feel much more expanded. It can help me if I'm feeling like kind of small and tight to feel really embodied and big. By imagining my roots stretching really far all around me, I give my base a really strong anchor, which can really help me to just feel more secure. So why don't we do that now? Take a couple breaths and just imagine roots extending out from us. Your roots are going to be unique to you and unique to this moment. So you can start with imagining them coming out of the base of your spine and spreading out. Let them be really fluid and moving, while also being really strong and secure. Notice if they want to stretch out or if they're stretching really down. If they've been stretching out, that's awesome. See if you can also visualize at least one anchor moving out from the base of your spine that goes really deep into the earth. My tendency is usually to want to grow long and kind of grip. I think part of that is because I live in Louisiana. It's pretty swampy here, and most of the trees here grow with relatively shallow, visually seeming shallow roots because of how wet the earth is here. So they want to get oxygen. But it's also so important for me to pull that root all the way down into the earth. There's a different kind of level of support that is gained when we let our roots extend deep, deep, deep into the earth and energetically connect with the core of the earth. There is an energetic exchange that can occur when we connect to that power center of the earth with our intention and with our roots. Awesome. Play with that anytime that feels right for you. I find it really helpful right before I begin a meditation to really extend my roots down. Or honestly, when I'm having a really difficult conversation, I'll imagine my roots are going really down. And that can actually make me feel a lot more stable and supported when speaking my truth, because I am supported by the earth. Yeah, that vibrant strength. And the earth is magnificent, right? This earth can hold space for so much diversity, more diversity than we can even really comprehend. And she's able to hold it all with grace. And so when we are in need of that sort of support, she's always there and our roots can always extend down. And so the other piece for trees that I think is really important is that while their roots are really stable, they tend to have a lot of flexibility in their like upper branches and in many of them in their trunks, because if they don't have that flexibility, as soon as the wind picks up, they snap, they crack, right? So many trees have a fluidity that allows them to really like dance in the wind. And so the other practice for grounding and kind of like vibing with trees is I would just do some like arm movement where you can like let yourself be rooted below and kind of like flowy above. I find that juxtaposition of being super grounded and flexible at the same time means that I'm able to really be more flowing in life, right? I'm not as rigid and I'm not as controlling. I'm stable and I'm settled and I'm supported, and I'm also fluid and flexible and adaptive. Being able to hold those two seemingly oppositional energies at the same time is something that trees and plants in general do all the time naturally, and we can use their kind of teachings to inspire us. How do we stay steady, rooted and firm, and also let ourselves really like blow in the wind? Awesome. A little tree inspiration for us today. Let me know how trees inspire you in your practice in the comments. Subscribe if you'd like more info on rootedness, groundedness practices, and just in general, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks.